JP Cycles here with a quick update on Friday, May the 9th. So I have extended the S&P data into Sunday based on yesterday's close, and we are having a situation that you could call a cycle or a possible cycle inversion. I described some of the mechanism last weekend. So this 2-week oscillation low is a bit hard to place. It may end up here as that was a very mild, well, hardly any low at all. Also, it's possible it could end up at this low earlier this week. And such a cycle inversion, that would be something like this, and often you can see it like this. It's a kind of what we possibly have got here. So you have somebody I think called this a straddled top. So you have two cycles merging into one. So that's my primary scenario here in green. We should make some kind of corrective move, I think, into end of May. I'm not expecting a lower low, but it could come down to around 5,300 or even a bit lower, somewhere here. That's my primary scenario. I could see another squeeze here, but I don't like this red one. But this purple one is also possible. If we only get like a bull flag pullback consolidation here, then we're loading up for a bullish breakout. So, but I have a lot of warning signals for next week. As you see here, my cycle on Monday is losing steam and is then turning bearish for next week. And regarding cycles, this recent weeks of rally has followed the quarterly cycle, the earnings cycle, and combined with non-farm payrolls and Fed meeting in May, we typically get the May rally, which can turn into the sell in May and go away condition. So that's possible, very possible. We have the 17-week cycle, so it is still bearish, and especially next week, very bearish, but then it goes sideways and then gets really bullish in June. So this is still favoring some kind of a pullback, should begin at any moment, and the best analogs are these, and as we see this here I extended into Sunday, and they suggest we drop down into somewhere late May. So again, that's my primary scenario. Also, we have a pattern recognition, or what I call it a pattern recognition, or an average of analogs. So this is a bottom formation, a typical one, and we are at the point where we should roll over and get a corrective move to the downside. Also, we had a very strong geomagnetic storm on April, I don't remember, April the 14th or something, and that generates this blue scenario, a bullish A, B, C move, and this orange is what the S&P actually has done. So we are here now on Friday. The scenario has a top tomorrow on Saturday, then next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is bearish, and actually it is very bearish on Saturday and Sunday, so that could spill over into the Monday after that. And from here on, the scenario from this geomagnetic storm is at the crossroads. Sometimes this pullback is all we get, and then it was no danger at all, and then we rally. But also it's possible that this pullback is making is breaking some levels, triggering some sell signals, causing some panic, and then we get a bigger corrective move. So it's uncertain what happens after this, but this first week has a very strong correlation with downside. And then we have, let's see, the hourly data. So I am seeing selling setup here. It looks a little bit early. Yeah, we could definitely, could be something bullish here still today or Monday. But we could have a breakdown here and then coming up to backtest this red line before we get this bigger corrective move. I do not think we are following my two bullish rally scenarios here in green and blue, and we are approaching the point of the 2-week oscillation where it turns bearish. So if we get the breakdown here, then my bias would be sideways or down to complete this 2-week oscillation. But if nothing bearish happens here, I think bears have lost their chance for now, and then we have to see what happens with the next rally, coming up maybe to test the 200-day average and so on. But here I'm expecting something bearish next week. I think that was all for today. So many warning signals for next week, but we have to wait and see. There's no guarantee that the market will just falter and collapse. We could have some kind of a bullish consolidation here. That would not fit with my overall big scenario for this year, because if we are setting up something bullish here to run up to test the all-time high, once again, that does not fit with my bearish scenario for this year. So I would really like to see us come down, and yeah, we need to see some more bearishness here. But I am open to everything. I have to adjust to what the market is doing. I cannot just stick to my personal what I'm convinced. The market, the cycles are telling one thing, and then the market action is another factor. And you have to see how does the market tackle the cycles. The cycles are very bearish, but that's no guarantee for bearishness. But that said, I'm still very bearish for this year. So at least until September, October. Well, see you later this weekend, and bye bye for now.